Hey guys, it's Leo Stargazer. I'm here with our daily tarot reading. Today is Saturday, August 12th, and my intention for the day is flexible strength. So if you remember in yesterday's reading, in our Lenormand pair, I drew the stork and the anchor. So there was this idea of a strong, durable transformation, a strong, durable relationship with change, or a strong, durable change in general. So today I want to include that strength element, and I want to include flexibility so that we can learn how to use strength to be flexible enough to cope with change. I want us to use our stability, our foundational power, but especially with the idea of a strong foundation, in order to be as flexible and able to deal with change, growth, or any kind of transformative event. We are going through a transformation right now. We have been on a journey of review, of self-discovery. We've been focusing this week inward, outward. We've been wanting to learn who we are and communicate that. We've been also focusing on relaxing, engaging with pleasure, but also engaging with our intuition and our imagination. So it's been a lot of self stuff this week, but also a lot of community. We've had a lot of call to reach out to communities that help us thrive, communities that accept us for who we are. Or we've been called to think about and search out those communities for ourselves if we don't already have established ones. So it's been an inward and outward journey this week. But because of yesterday's reading in particular, especially like I said, the stork and the anchor pair, I really wanted today to help us deal with potential change that we can't predict. I want us to be flexible enough on our foundations to be able to cope with, deal with, and thrive in any kind of change. So flexible strength today. Let's shuffle our deck. Okay, so as I'm shuffling the tarot deck today, I'm repeating my intention of flexible strength. I'm trying to be strong, even just in like my movements today, but also flexible, not too focused on rigidity as I shuffle. I want to feel flowing, but strong. So let's try to center ourselves on those themes as I shuffle. Let's do that for a few moments. Okay, so I've shuffled the deck, I've brought it from chaos into unity, and I am ready to draw my first card. I'll be doing the thinking, feeling, doing spread as usual, and in the thinking position, the card that I draw is the Three of Cups reversed. The Three of Cups reversed in thinking shows me today one thing, and that is my thoughts are going to be on, or our thoughts should be on, extremes, excess in particular. It's a fun way to start a spread. But I really think that in this case, the 3 reverse does not serve as a warning, as far as I'm concerned. It's a call again for interacting with groups. I really do think that. But because it's thoughts, I think it's telling us to think about what extremes, especially the extremes of pleasure, our groups can take us in. When we're talking about thinking, though, when we say pleasure and thinking, what thoughts, especially thoughts of extremes and excess, what thoughts around those themes help you feel connected to your groups? Or what potential groups could help you with your thoughts of excess and pleasure? There are parts of you that want to engage with, I know there are parts of me that do, want to engage with the extremes of the sensory experiences, the extremes of thought even. I love pushing myself there. This card may be wanting you to start thinking about that and thinking about engaging in extreme thought in particular, but thoughts around excessive indulgence. Okay, I'm going to reel it back in because 3 of Cups reversed can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, of course, just anything can. But the way I'm interpreting this, the place that my intuition takes me when I see the 3 of Cups reversed after the week that we've had, I'm seeing a call to think about or engage with groups that help you, groups that accept your most extreme and indulgent thoughts. Let that sit with you. Think about what that means for you in particular, and then tie that into groups. Let's move on, though, from that to get the other cards in the mix. So the next card that I draw is in the feeling position. And the card that I draw there is the 4 of Swords reversed. Okay, another card saying, get out of your head. Do not isolate in your emotions. It's a card that does say that you've done that well. You have protected yourself. Yesterday we had the Page of Swords in feeling. Today it's the reversed 4 of Swords in feeling. So we've done that. We've had our little isolating moment. We've stayed above it all. We've gotten our perspective from within our sanctuary. But now it's time to branch out. It's time to peek out of that sanctuary and engage with the outside world. This next phase of our journey, a lot of this week has been about the next phase of our journey of self-review. The next phase of our journey takes place outside of us, I think. And I think that's what this is saying. You've done great in yourself. You need to share it. And I think the 4 of Swords reversed here in feeling is saying, we need to share our feelings. We at least need to start the process of opening ourselves up to sharing those things. And I think because we got the 3 of Cups in thinking, there is also this element of maybe sharing our more extreme things we found. But let's move on to doing to see if maybe today's the day for that, or what's on the agenda for today. In the doing position, the card that I draw is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is about imagination, fantasizing in and of itself for its own purposes. Just the act of engaging with and embracing imagination. Almost from a place of naivete, almost from the Fool's perspective to a degree, but he is a page. This is about learning and knowing, or at least beginning that journey. So we have another hint towards the beginning of a journey that has to do with the imagination. How this applies, I think, to the other cards we've drawn so far is that if we are indulging in extremes, if we are finding the strength to reach out, to start thinking about or actually expressing those thoughts and feelings. And if we use and engage with and are active in an engagement with our imagination and our fantasies. Remember, the Three of Cups reversed, we're talking about indulging in all of these things. Well, this is, I think, what we're indulging with is in the imaginative thoughts. Our fantastical parts, our visions of fantasy, all of those things. Our fancies, even, those kinds of things. We want to engage with that today. We're being called to engage with that today. So I think, again, we want to indulge in those extremes, and extremes maybe about imagination, maybe with our fantasies. We want to start expressing those, or at least start thinking about which groups we can and feel comfortable with, and then leaving our sanctuary, thinking about leaving just the internal focus only and focusing out, expressing outwardly. But let's look at the Lenormand pair to see where, how, when, who, what we need to do that. With, for, how. Okay, so as I'm shuffling the Lenormand deck, guys, I'm bringing myself back to my intention. My intention was flexible strength. Flexible strength is the key to this spread. If we bring that into the tarot that we just drew, as we're shuffling, I want us to think about this. We can get flexibility and strength and be flexible in our strength and in our power if we follow the path laid out by the tarot. But I want to see the Lenormand. I want to get actual actionable things. Or an actual actionable focus. So let's be reminding ourselves of flexible strength, and we'll tie all of that back into the tarot once we see our pair. Take some deep breaths with me for a couple moments. Okay, so we have brought the deck from chaos into unity, and we are ready for our first card. The first card that I draw in the pair is Lilies, or the Lily. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Lily is a very complicated card. It holds 2 in 1 for me, the way I view it. It's purity and maturity, and all of the elements and all of the archetypes that those two words mean. I'm going to draw the second card right away, though, because I need to be informed. I need the Lily to be informed. The second card that I draw is the Snake. Okay. The Lily and the Snake. Complicated. But important. I want to take this moment to remind us about the tarot. Flexible strength was our intention. We had the Three of Cups reversed in thoughts. So we said, thinking about extremes. We had and especially extreme indulgence. We had the Four of Swords reversed in feeling. So the feeling that we may need to start expressing our feelings, especially our extreme ones, and maybe reach out to groups. Then we had the Page of Cups in doing, embracing imagination. In this new phase of our journey, this new era of transformation, embracing imagination and fantasy overall and for the sake of themselves, for their own sake. Having the Lilies and the Snake show up in our Lenormand pair informs this and adds to the idea of flexible strength. Because these cards exist in a dichotomy. These two cards have multiple meanings, and both of these meanings, when combined, create even more meaning. It's going to be up to you to know exactly where these cards land and how these create an actionable way for you to express your most extreme desires in your most fantastical way as you move forward. The way that these cards provide flexibility to cover the first part is that you are a complete whole person and you have been really deciding and finding out which sides of you are speaking the most to this part of your journey. What you're discovering is very important. This is where the Snake comes in. The Snake is either here to guide you towards your actual truth, to say, embrace the purest parts of you. Or embrace the most mature, knowledgeable parts of you. Or the snake is saying, or the snake is here to lead you astray. That there's a sense of deception hiding either in the purest parts of you or the most mature parts of you. I think using the first 3 cards to lead with indulgence and imagination, indulging in fantasy, but also sharing yourself in your journey with others, or starting to, I think you'll know whether your pure, innocent side or your potentially darker but more mature side needs to be in the lead. You know best. But that's kind of the choice today. The Lenormand cards are here to say, choose. Choose which side you lead. Does your pure side help you understand how your morality can guide you to the appropriate extremes and to the appropriate groups and the appropriate fantasies? Or does your darker, mature, more knowledgeable side lead you to the extremes, to the excess, to the indulgence, but to the imagination and the fantasy that really helps you leave that sanctuary and branch out into the world and start this new transformative journey, this new phase of that? Whichever one you choose, whichever one you feel drawn to, if you can latch on to one that feels right for you, the snake will help you understand that, give you new knowledge, and help you enter a world of freedom and liberation. If you don't choose, or you're kind of caught in confusion, or you don't trust yourself enough, that snake could be deceptive. He could lead you into a place of extremes that aren't the ones the 3 of Cups reverse is offering us. Fantasies that don't have a chance to become reality. But the truth is, guys, this goes back to also the idea of accepting change. Whatever we choose, pure, mature, dark light, whatever it is, and however the snake ends up guiding us, however the wheel turns and in what direction it does, we have to deal with it. And I think this week has shown us that the best way to do that is to embrace our truest self, to understand our truest self, to continue this journey of discovering that, but to start to express that outwardly, to start to bring other people into this space, to start to do that will help us begin to accept change more easily. If we do that, and if we start this new phase of our journey with the idea that we're going to start reaching out, to start branching outside of ourselves only, take this review journey and start expressing it outward. If we can do that, we will be guided in the right direction. We can choose which side of us is the most appropriate on this part of the journey, because we've done that review process inside. Now we can rely on that and the outer world or our closest groups. Or we can discover those groups. But we can rely on that to keep our boundaries strong enough to be flexible no matter where the snake takes us, no matter how the wheel turns. Be flexible in our strength, and that'll be the key. Start to branch out of yourself. I think that's what this week has told us. You've done a great job inside, and everyone else wants you to share it with them. I hope you do. See you tomorrow.